Should Sean Miller be fired now?
Yes, and I think he will be. Look, you can't keep getting knocked out in the round of 64 when you have talent like that. And when you look at what happened, I'm sorry, that comes down to coaching. DeAndre Ayton was denied the ball. The defense collapsed on Ayton. No one else did anything. And they got blown out. I mean, you know, that's just what it is. So should Miller be fired? The answer is yes, and I believe he will be. But let me just tell you how this stuff generally works. Or let me say how I read the situation right now. Once the scandal hit, you know the program wanted to get rid of him, right? Of course. No one wants a coach embattled in a scandal where the FBI is involved. This now gives them cover. It gives them plausible deniability to get rid of what they must see as a problem, right? The face of a problem, at least. And so what generally happens when a scandal like this surrounds a coach who's embattled at a certain program is that other lesser programs sometimes take a look and they go, we like that guy better than the guy we have presently. Let's see if we can back channel and work something out so that there's a destination. I would be very surprised if not only that he wasn't fired, I assume he will be gone, whether it's called a firing or not. And I would also be surprised if he didn't land somewhere and if a deal, or at least the idea and parameters of a deal at that destination, aren't already discussed, if not worked out.
I'm not gonna go as far as to say he should be fired. I mean, the man won 32 games last year. This year he had another successful season. They've been to the NCAA tournament. He's gone to a couple of regional semifinals. It's not like he was bounced out in the first round every year. It's been 2 of the last 3 years he's been bounced out in the very first round. I think in that span, or 3 of the last 4 times they've lost to a double-seeded team. That's a very, very bad look, no question about that. And that's something that should give you cause to pause. But because of the success of his record, a Pac-12 title, etc., I can't go as far as to say that he should be fired. But I do think you can look at him and say, excuse me, you could have done a better job. I do think you can look at him and say, we need more from you. We need a level of production from you as a coach during the NCAA tournament, because that's where the real money is made for us, and we need you to make sure that you get it done on that level. He should be criticized. He should be on the hot seat in terms of looking at him and wondering whether or not somebody could do a better job down the road. He should be put on notice that there's more that's expected of him. But in the same breath, let's not act like this is a scrub coach that has never achieved anything. He is winning his share of games. He is winning conference tournaments. That does matter to some degree in college basketball.
Max, let me tell you something. You say you've been through it. I lived through it for 36 years. He's not getting fired for coaching. There's no chance he's getting fired for coaching. What he's done with his Arizona program, where it was when he took it over, the level it's been at, the consistency, the Pac-12 championships, he's not getting fired for coaching, so you can forget about that. Yeah, did this team underachieve to some extent? No doubt about it. They didn't have a point guard that was exposed. Last night they were awful. They didn't compete. The hardest playing, toughest team finds a way to win. That was Buffalo. Buffalo beat them in every aspect of the game. Buffalo's guards absolutely took out Arizona, but that's one game. That's a blip. If Sean Miller gets fired, first of all, he's not going to get fired for not winning, because they're going to owe him a ton of money. He might get fired for what's going on off the court if eventually those records do come out and they prove to be true. But in terms of basketball, wins and losses, success, building a program, here's the take I have for you guys. I'm not sure he's going to be fired, but if Sean Miller can leave, if Sean Miller can go get the Pitt job, then you know what? I can see that happening, because right now, Arizona, they have 5 5 guys that'll be leaving. Pinder, Ayton, Trier, Parker Jackson, Cartwright, and Riley Hawkins. They're gone. Their holy recruiting class, gone. They have no one left. They have to start from scratch. They probably do need a new voice, especially with that cloud hanging over them, because they can't recruit right now.
Coach, question for you. Well, you say they can't recruit right now. I'd like you to just enunciate for the public as to why that is, A. And B, more importantly, is Pittsburgh a potentially better program than Arizona in your eyes?
No, it isn't a better program, but that's his alma mater. That's where he played. That's where his roots are. That's where his dad is. So, I mean, that's where he's from. Look, the NCAA investigation, the FBI investigation, the allegations that he offered money to DeAndre Ayton through a runner, an assistant coach that now is under the FBI investigation and is going to have to go to court and defend himself. There's a lot of stuff that's going around this program that's basically inhibited it from moving forward. Their whole recruiting class, because of the investigation, because there's some who think that maybe they will not be able to participate in the NCAA once the NCAA gets involved, that they've decided to move and go other places. You know, Shaquille O'Neal's son is going to UCLA. They got other guys going to other institutions. So moving forward, it's going to be really hard for Sean Miller. Would he like to? I think he would like to clear his name and rebuild Arizona's program. But it has nothing to do with coaching. If he's not at Arizona next year, nothing to do with coaching.
But before we move on, hold on, Max. Before we move on, I just want to say this. Listen, he shouldn't be allowed to go to Pittsburgh until this investigation is resolved.
I don't think they can hire him until it's resolved either.
Okay.